Hello guys, welcome back to Mr. Fandom Lore. Today we're talking about why the MCU still needs an Eternals sequel. Love it or hate it, the 2021 movie introduced some huge ideas that still haven't been resolved. And years later, many fans feel Marvel shouldn't just leave those storylines hanging. When Eternals released in 2021, it brought something very different to the MCU. Instead of focusing on heroes like the Avengers or street-level characters, the movie explored ancient beings who had secretly watched over humanity for thousands of years. Directed by Zhao, the film introduced Sersi, Ikaris, Thena, Druig, Makkari, Kingo, Phastos, Sprite, and the rest of the Eternals. It also expanded the cosmic side of Marvel by introducing the Celestials, massive entities responsible for creating and judging civilizations throughout the universe. While the movie received mixed reviews and performed below Marvel's usual standards at the box office, it ended with several major cliffhangers. Arishem took Sersi, Kingo, and Phastos away to judge whether humanity deserved to survive. Thena, Druig, and Makkari left Earth and eventually met Eros, played by Harry Styles, who promised to help them find their missing friends. And perhaps the biggest unanswered question of all, the giant body of Tiamut emerged from the Earth and has barely been addressed since. These are not small plot points. They're massive events that affect the entire MCU, yet years later, we still haven't seen any real follow-up. That's one reason many fans believe Eternals deserves a sequel. Not necessarily because the first movie was perfect, but because the story clearly wasn't finished. Another reason is the cosmic scale that Eternals introduced. Most MCU projects focus on individual heroes, teams, or multiversal threats, but the Celestials operate on an entirely different level. Arishem's judgment of humanity is still unresolved, and a sequel could finally explore what happens next. Will the surviving Eternals return to Earth? Will humanity face consequences? Or will the Celestials become involved in future MCU events? These are questions that many fans still want answers to. There's also the world-building aspect. As the MCU heads toward Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, Marvel is expanding into larger multiversal and cosmic stories. The Eternals naturally fit into that direction. In the comics, Eternals, Deviants, and Mutants all share deep connections. Some fans believe these characters could eventually help bridge the gap toward the arrival of the X-Men. Whether Marvel decides to follow the comics closely or not, the mythology introduced in Eternals feels too important to simply ignore. Online discussions on Reddit and X often reflect this frustration. Many fans say the movie had a lot of potential but suffered from pacing issues and trying to introduce too many characters at once. Others feel that a sequel could actually improve upon the first film by focusing on fewer characters and telling a more straightforward story. There's also the cast itself. Characters like Thena, Druig, Makkari, and Sersi gained loyal fan bases, and many viewers enjoyed the chemistry between the team. A sequel could build on those relationships instead of spending most of its runtime introducing everyone again. And then there's Dane Whitman. Kit Harington's character was only beginning his story when the movie ended. The post-credit scene teased the Ebony Blade and included a mysterious voice widely believed to belong to Blade. That setup suggested Marvel had plans involving supernatural and ancient elements, but years later, those teases still haven't paid off. Interestingly, Zhao herself has said she would be interested in returning to continue the story. So it's not a situation where the creative team has completely moved on. The problem is that Marvel Studios currently doesn't appear to have immediate plans for Eternals 2. In recent years, Marvel has shifted its priorities, focusing more on established franchises and trying to rebuild audience confidence after mixed reactions to several projects. From a business standpoint, that's understandable. But many fans believe completely abandoning the Eternals would be a mistake, not because the first film was universally loved, but because some of the biggest mysteries introduced by the movie remain unresolved. And Marvel has always been at its best when different stories eventually connect together. Whether through an Eternal sequel, another Avengers movie, or a completely different project, fans simply want to see these characters and their unfinished story matter again. Because right now, it feels like Marvel introduced some of the most powerful beings in the universe, teased several huge events, and then hit the pause button.
That's why many fans still believe the MCU needs an Eternals 2. What do you think? Should Marvel finally make Eternals 2, or are you okay with these storylines being resolved somewhere else? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to Mr. Fandom Lore, and turn on notifications so you never miss future MCU discussions, lore breakdowns, and rumor updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.